If you hate your job, if you feel like you just cannot influence others, or you're terrible at sales, or maybe you're contemplating a sales job, or perhaps you're working in sales now and you're excellent at what you do, but you've hit a wall and you're not making any more progress and you're really hungry to grow and 10x your income, then this is the right place for you. My name is Ryan Allen Melchioni, and I want to take a moment before we begin just to thank you for the privilege and the opportunity to share with you the strategies and techniques that have positively shaped my life and career in sales. I really respect you as a kind of person that really wants to change the quality of your life, that you want to take action and do something about it. And I want to believe that we all have dreams, and that deep down we all have a special gift. And it's my goal to help awaken that person within and help change the quality of your career and life. It's been my passion, my goal, and my desire to help you and help as many people as possible. And I'm not trying to impress you with how much I've accomplished or how much I know. What I've created in my life is very simple, and that's why it'll work for you. So welcome to another edition of Mastering Influence Home Security Sales. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to close the deal, how to collect the activation every single time. Now, there's going to be multiple videos because there's a variety of different ways to close. So please be sure to watch all of them before you go out and try to apply it. So again, this is your roof. You have a strong house with a strong roof built up. And your roof is going to go on, no problem at all. Your close is your roof, right? But if you have a real wobbly house built up, it's probably going to come down on you, right? So one of the first things you need to do, especially on a close throughout your entire sales process, is you need to know how to build rapport. You need to know their emotional hot buttons. What is it that's really going to get them going? Because I'll turn to them and let them know on the flyer or whatever I'm showing them with, primarily a flyer that advertises our basic ADT system or whatever you're using for your security company. And I'll say that $850 system is a great starting point that my company or my sales reps, normally Steve, who would have been talking to you today, would give you if you speak with them. And again, this is completely free of charge in that first month of homeownership. But again, you have a beautiful house, and if my sales reps were here, they'd be licking their chops because they know that they're going to make a ton of commission off you. Now, if I wasn't here, or you called the 1-800 number, or spoke to one of my sales reps, that $350 right off the bat for our two-way and cellular voice upgrade from the basic piano to two-way voice and cellular, that's a tough decision. We haven't even talked about anything else yet. That's a much harder decision. Now, you have to think about it. Or what if you had that old system turned on, the one that was in your house when I got here? Or you called ADT and you just got one of our basic landline systems. Or another person's system. And someone breaks into your daughter's bedroom window, takes your kid and leaves. Sadly, that system would never go off. Now, if you're thinking that that's a little extreme to say to a customer, it's really not. Because this hard stuff, it has to be talked about. Because it's real and it happens every single day and you need to talk about it. But hey, you're not going to have to worry about that with me, sir. Because that window, I'm covering that. Many things that we're afraid to say or bring up are exactly the things that we should say. Remember, because I'm here today covering for that lazy Steve who called in sick, you don't have to worry about paying for that. What are people expecting when we're out there? Well, they're expecting some catch, right? So I'm going to give it to them proactively. I'll let them know what's included in that $850 system. The yard sign, the stickers, the keypad, the minimum 3 door sensors or window sensors, the key fob for their wife. But then I'll say, this right here in that first month of homeownership is completely free of charge. But if I told you everything was completely free, you don't have to pay a thing, what do most people think? What are you going to tell me? Ryan, what's the what? And you always ask them that question, what's the what? well, they're going to respond and say, what's the catch? If they don't, you say it for them. But for the most part, 9 times out of 10, most people respond to me and say exactly that. But what's the catch? This is some scam. Get out of my house. Who are you? Well, if you look at the fine print of anything in life, you're always going to find something. It's never face value of what you thought it was going to be. So what I'll do is proactively show it to them. I'll turn over the flyer, because on the back of the flyer I'm writing down $850. Then I'm putting yard sign, stickers, keypad, door sensors, motion detector. And I'm explaining every single one of these things. I'm letting them know. The first thing that Steve would give you if he was out here today is a yard sign. $850 worth of equipment, I'll tell you, is a yard sign. Because remember, 50% of the thieves that see that, it's gonna deter them. They're gonna go on to the next house and find somebody who doesn't have a brand new ADT security system. So that's why we give you that sign. But the other 50% know that people pretend to put fake signs out, so they'll continue to break inside your house. Or maybe they're so high on drugs that they'll break in anyway. Then she'll give you, or he'll give you, stickers to go on the doors and windows. Kind of solidify that you actually got your home security taken care of. And it's brand new stickers because we update them on a regular basis. Then she'll give you a keypad. This is that little box where you turn on and turn off your system with. Then she'll give you a motion sensor. Detects any motion throughout the house. And I know you have a big dog, so don't worry about that. It actually has to be over 80 pounds for the motion detector to go off. That way, if somebody did come from upstairs to the basement or through one of your windows, the second they smash that window, the second they come upstairs, once they come down on that third step, immediately that motion detector is going to catch them and the alarm would be going off. Because remember, nobody's just going to rob your upstairs bedroom or just your basement. They're going to be walking through your house. And if you truly feel that you need more, then we're going to get to that later and talk about giving more equipment for those windows. That's what I'm telling you guys. I'm not telling the household that. So I'll explain the purpose of every single piece of equipment. Because I don't want to just say, hey, I'm going to give you this, 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 and this, and you try to figure out the benefits. I want them to know exactly why it's so beneficial that they're getting this, and this, and this, and this, and this, so they see the value in what you're actually giving them. Because remember, a lot of these people, they're just buying homes for the first time, or if you're just knocking random doors, they've never had security before. So they're kind of intrigued. They don't know exactly how it works. Maybe that's why they never got it, because they thought it was too expensive, too complicated, and something that they'll never use or never understand. So by explaining the purpose of every single piece of equipment, it's going to benefit them 10 times more, because then they're going to see the true value of that $850. Okay? Then I'll tell them, now the second thing, now your neighbor, and I'll always say this, because I want to bring that connection. You know, keeping up with the Joneses, they cut their grass, you cut your grass. Now your neighbor, he had a front door, back door, and a basement door. Do you have 3 doors as well, or just 2? And this all depends on where you are in the country. So, you know, like I said, it all depends. And they'll say, in most cases, oh, no, we just have a front door and a back door, and then we actually have a door that leads to our garage, or the side door. I'll say, okay. Well, because of that bump key, the fear of somebody just putting that in and just tapping it and breaking inside your house, or the fear of somebody smashing that door, kicking it in at 3 a.m. like I told you, I'm going to put a contact on every single one of those doors. So the second they smash that door, the second they use that bump key, they crack it open, the alarm's going off. Okay? Then the last thing will be something called a key fob. Do you know what a key fob is? Surprisingly, a lot of people say no. Well, basically what a key fob is, it's the same thing that I would use on my new car. You have the access to turn on your system and turn off your system. But the reason why this is primarily for your spouse, for your wife, I usually say, because I try not to give out 1,000 key fobs. The reason why this is primarily for your wife is because it has a panic button. Now, I don't know if you know, but it's very common nowadays, especially in a lot of countries around the world, and this is what I've come to realize when my wife and I were down in Guatemala. It's people don't normally get robbed inside of their homes. People get robbed on the street. So your wife, she comes home what? Every day at 8:30 at night alone? You don't think the neighbors know that? So they come to know her routine. So they can say to themselves, hey guys, she'll be here tomorrow night at 8:30. Let's run up on her and put a gun to her back. Now if that ever happened, she can't take out her phone and say, hi, there's a gun to my back. Can you please send the police? That's never going to happen, right? Very unrealistic. But what she can do is reach in her pocket, hit that panic button, walk whoever has a gun to the back up to the door, And what they don't know is that she just sent a silent distress call to ADT. Now ADT is listening to everything going on inside of the house because of the two-way voice and cellular upgrade. Now they have facts. Now the police are on their way. They'll be here in 3 minutes or less. And she could preoccupy them for that amount of time. Also, if she's inside the house and she did hear a loud bang or screaming or yelling or gunshots or something actually happened, all she has to do is hit the panic button if she didn't turn the alarm system on. Or she had a medical emergency, she's pregnant and she was having that baby, hit the panic button. Or if there was a fire inside the house and she didn't know what to do, she hits the panic button. And every single time someone's going to come out of the loudspeaker and start listening or proactively start talking to you. So that's why it's mainly for their wife. Do you understand that? And if it's really going to make or break the sale, then I'll give the husband or other people another key fob. But for the most part, I try to bring it out that way, so that way I can try to give less equipment for free, because otherwise that's taking money out of mine and your paycheck, depending on your pay structure. So I'll break that entire system down and I'll say, now that system right there in the first month of home ownership is completely free of charge. Normally Steve is out here and I'll cross out the $850. He's looking to put an arrow to get $200. But in most cases, because he's trying to make that commission, he's going to give it to you completely free of charge. But like I said, if I told you everything was free and it was no cost, what are you going to tell me, Ryan? What's the what? What's the catch, right? Well, get the heck out of here. Nothing's free in life. There's no free lunch. Well, if you look at the fine print of anything in life, what you're going to find is a catch. And what I'll do is I'll turn over the flyer, because I wrote all of that back on the back of the flyer, the blank side of the flyer. I'll turn it over and I'll say, if you look at the bottom here, the fine print, you'll see a $199, $200 installation fee. And I'll just circle a random spot. Okay, they don't need to be looking at that. You don't need to find it. It's fine. They get the point. If you look at the fine print, you're gonna find something. You circle a random spot. There's a $199, $200 installation fee, and I'll flip it over quick. And I'll take that where it says $850 on the left side, and I always draw a line down the middle. So everything on the left side is free. It's an $850 system. Everything on the right side, you're going to have to pay. And I'll draw an arrow from the $850 to the other side, right over the line. And I'll say, we'll call it $200 installation fee. You got to pay my tech for coming out, doing a great job, setting up the house, making sure everything looks nice, runs nice, and you actually know how to use it. Again, I'm explaining the purpose of charging them that installation, what the tech's job is for coming out. We got to pay my tech for doing a great job. And then I'll tell them right from there, if my tech was here right now, that's what you'd be paying him, okay? But because I'm here today, because I'm trying to earn your business, you don't have to worry about that. And the reason why I tell them that the reason why you want to tell them that you're going to start waiving everything right from the beginning, the reason why you don't want to wait until the end, is because they might start checking out. They might start fixating on why they're going to tell you no, because it's just too expensive. Because even if you come back and say it's all free, they've already told themselves no, so their mind is not going to change. And that's what I'm saying, guys. If you just jumped and said $200 installation fee, and then you move on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then at the end, but don't worry, so that adds up to $1,800, and it's because I'm here today, because I'm the manager, and he called out sick, everything's completely free. They might already checked out and said, you know, the whole time while you're explaining this and this and this, they're thinking 200, 350, 450, all these, I can't pay any of this. So they'll just be nice and let you go through your whole presentation, but at the end, because they were fixating on telling you no, because I'm not going to be paying any of that, it's going to be real hard to draw them in. But I'm not going to tell you not to do that, because I do that sometimes depending on the customer. But if you're keeping a good eye on them and you're playing it good with them and you have the personality for it, then go for it. But just make sure you're keeping a good watch and making sure they're actually checked in. And I'm saying, if you're not going to tell them right from the beginning, that $200 installation fee, that's waived. If you just say $200 installation, explain the purpose of it, and then you move on to the next thing, and don't say that they're getting that for free because you're out there today, just make sure you keep a good watch on them. And honestly, if you're watching this as one of my reps in my sales office, and you're a new rep, I would never encourage you to wait until the end. because it's really, really, really difficult to overcome at the end of the day if they say no, and because usually they're not going to have the moxie to pull it off. You as a new rep, you might not have the moxie to pull it off trying to change it around. It's just going to be a little difficult. So at the beginning, you definitely just want to tell them, okay, but because I'm here, this is free. And because I'm here, this is free. And just roll with it, just to make things easier for you. But as in time, you do whatever you want. But like I said, you definitely want to get a good watch on the person. And like I said, as long as you're keeping a good watch on them, and you're telling them you're waiving everything from the beginning of each one, the benefit is it makes them buy in, like, wow, you know, he's waiving that $200 installation fee. I wonder what else he's going to be doing for us. Or I wonder what else he's going to be doing for me. Then I'll point, like I said, to the fine print and show them, you know, all that ad stuff and things like that. And I promise you, if you do this alternative close 80% of the time on all of your sales, you will get that activation. 80% of the time, if you do this alternative close, you will get that activation every single time. Whether your activation is $500, $200, $300, most cases $99, you will get that every single time. Because right after I'm done explaining the installation, the next thing is something called two-way voice and cellular. And I'll draw a line. That's why I do the keypad third when I'm writing down the 850. And I'm going to be doing another video so you can see the visual of everything if this doesn't make sense to you. But do your best to bear with me. But I would draw a line from where it says keypad, one keypad on the other side, on the left side, and I draw an arrow over the line down the middle, and I would write two-way voice and cellular. And I'd say, have you ever heard of something called two-way voice and cellular? Well, no. And if you watch my two-way voice and cellular purpose and the actual pitch, you know, this is when you jump into that. This is when you tell them that two-way voice and cellular pitch. Well, let's say you told me, you know, hey Ryan, I only want the cheapest possible monthly and yada yada yada. I'm not going to go through it for you for that purpose, but just for time's sake of this video. But please go back and watch that. That's when you incorporate that pitch into this. And then once you're done doing that pitch and explaining the purpose and the benefit of having two-way voice and cellular, and why they don't want any other company, why they want your monthly, why they'll do anything in the world to make sure that they go with you, you say, because that's so beneficial to you and your family, that's actually a $350 upgrade from your basic keypad to two-way voice and cellular. And then the last thing is something called a Ring doorbell and a phone app. Now this varies, guys, because I'm going to have two videos. One's on the last thing, the Ring doorbell and the phone app, and the additional contacts, because in most cases I'm giving, I very, very, very rarely, if ever, will ever give just 3. I always encourage, we're out there not just to sell security, but actually protect their home, and you want to differentiate yourself from all these other companies that only give 3 contacts. Everyone gives 3. But if you're giving 7 to 11, not only are you building more value in what you're offering them, but you're actually protecting their home. And if somebody else comes by and they say, hey, I want to give you this, well, how many contacts are you going to give me? Oh, just 3. Or they see the flyer, they're like, man, thank goodness we got those other contacts for no cost. So I normally tell them, you know, 4 contacts for those 4 extra windows, plus those 3 doors. That's 4 times 129, and whatever that number comes out to. And I'll write that. And then I'll tell them, because I'm out here today, because I really want to earn your business and do something very special for you and your family, because you're going to do it with me today. I proactively say that, not if you are. Because you're going to do this with me today. That 520, you don't have to worry about that with me, okay? And I'll break that down. So that way you get extra value right after the two-way voice. Show them the contacts. And then the last thing, this is depending on the package you want to sell. If you want to do just a $47.99, just regular two-way voice, and stop there. And then you go right over to your close, which I'll explain. Or I like to sell a Ring doorbell and a phone app. So then I draw another arrow, just kind of randomly. I'm not drawing it from something, just kind of randomly right underneath the contacts. And I'll say, have you ever heard of something called a Ring doorbell or a phone app? Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Oh no, I haven't heard of it. Well, what's the phone app? All this different stuff, right? And watch my video, the Ring doorbell and the phone app, and you'll understand how to explain that. I'm not going to go into it now. And then once that's done, I'll say that's actually a $450 upgrade because that's so beneficial to you and your family. So help me add this up here. 200 plus 350 is what? And it'll tell me that number. Okay, so 550 plus 520 or whatever the amount of contacts you're giving them, 4 times 129 or 9 times 129, whatever the case might be, or 8 times 129, whatever the amount of contacts you're giving them. All right, plus that number, and you could stop there and say you'd either be paying this much a month. I mean, you'd either be paying this much down if you were to call the 1-800 right now, or if Steve was out today, this is how much you would be paying. Or if you waited the extra 2 weeks and you were out of the new homeowner program, you would add that, let's just use a random number, that $1,200 plus that $850, you're looking at about $1,100 that you would have to pay out of pocket. But whichever one you chose to pay, and I'd circle both. I'd circle the one that if Steve was there today, this is how much you'd be paying, $1,200. If you waited the extra 2 weeks, or, and I write or, $1,100. And I'd circle whichever one you chose to pay, my company would send you, and I turn it over, a $100 gift card in the mail. Okay, sounds pretty good, right? You only pay $1,200 or $1,100, or $2,100 rather. I don't know why I keep saying $1,100. And you get the gift card. Sounds pretty good, right? And they're looking at you like, no, that's not a good deal at all. And if you started from the beginning and you're waiving everything, then they're going to kind of get the hint that it's all no cost anyway. But if you're waiting to the end, this is how you would do it. So it's $1,100 for everything, okay? But my company would send you a $100 gift card in the mail. But like I said, this is where I come into play. But like I said, as a relocation manager, there's certain things I can do and certain things I can't do. One of the things I'm unable to do is give you this stupid gift card, and I cross it out right on the front, this stupid gift card that doesn't come for 8 weeks anyway. But what I can do to earn your business, like I said, is I can waive, and I turn it back over, that $850. I can waive that $200 installation fee. I can waive that two-way voice and cellular upgrade. I can waive those 4 or those 7 or 9, whatever the amount of contacts you're giving them, those 7 extra contacts. And I can even give you and your family the Ring doorbell and the phone app. So you don't have to pay $1,000 or $1,850. Remember, I can't do all these numbers now. It all depends on what you're doing. That's why I said I'm going to do another video where I'm writing it out. But you don't have to pay $1,000 or $1,850. The only thing you'd ever have to pay once with me is a one-time $199 or a one-time $99 activation fee. Now, I know your next question, $1 million question, well, Ryan, how much is the monthly? But just to remind you, the last thing that people worry about in life is a monthly payment. The biggest thing they're concerned about is, oh man, I don't have that $15,000 for that new home. I don't have that $5,000 for that new car. I don't have that $2,000 for that fancy security system. But see, I'm already taking care of the hard part, so there's really not much to think about. But to answer your question, with ADT or with any other company, for this type of system, you're literally looking at $140 a month, $120, or at the very cheapest, $89 a month. But I'm personally, because I'm here today, gonna slide you in with an employee discount, take care of you. I'm just gonna give it to you for a measly $63.99 a month. And like I told you, after your homeowner's insurance discount, once you give them the certificate proving that you actually have a home security system, they'll send you anywhere from $35 to $70 a year. If you take that money and theoretically put it towards your bill, you'll end up saving between $4 to $7 a month. Which if you add that up, you're literally looking at $59, $58, or $57 a month. And then this is where I'll be writing that down under a little square under that $850. So I'll put the 99 Then I'll put $63.99, an arrow down, $57 a month, an arrow underneath that, which is literally, sir, $1.70 a day cheaper than a cup of coffee. I know I got a little carried away there, but that's literally how I would do it, okay? And I'm going to do another video explaining all of that all over again, but with an actual, much better visual. But like I said, if you're doing this alternative close, I promise you, you will get activation on 80% of your sales. And rarely you will ever get a cancellation. Because remember, anyone you see with an ADT sign or logo, or really with any other security company, no matter what, they paid that activation. ADT will not give them a system without them paying that activation. Yeah, you're right, they do get the gift card, but they will not waive that activation. And people will pay that $99 up front all day long. So don't let it get stuck in your head, and don't let anyone tell you that people won't pay it, because they most certainly will, okay? Most reps that don't get activation just get it stuck in their head that, man, if I charge them anything, any amount of money, they're not going to do what's it. I just have to tell them everything is completely free. I'll waive it every time. I've had reps tell me that, and I've showed them this, and they've changed their whole life, making a whole lot of extra money. Because if you get 15 installs a month, I'll put it like this, and you collected every single time, that's an extra $1,500 more a month, and an $18,000 raise for the year. Who wouldn't want that, right? But if you throw out that $99 and they truly cannot pay it at the end, now you have something in your back pocket. Now you'll be their hero. Because if you're going to say it, you have to say it this way, if you're going to waive it. Let me just ask you, Joe, is that the only thing preventing you from getting that system today? Yeah, Ryan, if that was done, I love everything you're saying, I'm just flat broke right now. Then you respond and say, okay, well, let me just make a quick phone call to my head manager and see what I can do. Then you call someone. Heck, if you're in my sales office, you have my personal number, you can call me. And we'll have a conversation. Hey Ryan, I'm with a great family right now, and you know, beautiful kids, beautiful wife, taking care of everything. They really value security. It's really important to them, but they just don't have that $99. Is there anything that we can do about that? Well, yeah, Ryan, or yeah, Joe, whoever I'm on the phone talking with. Yeah, Steve, I mean, you know, I guess we could do that for them, but just know that you're going to have to personally pay that for them. All right, I'll do that for them. You can put me on speaker or call anybody. Play that out. Ask them, please, can you do this for me if I'm ever in a tight situation when I call you between 4 and 8:30 at night or whatever time of day. Can you answer my phone call and we can have that conversation? Put yourself on speaker right in front of the customer. That'll really solidify the deal and let them see that what you're doing is something very, very special for them. Or you can tell them, if you can't get a hold of anybody, hey, my manager's really going to kick my butt for this. They're really going to hate me. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble, but, you know, I'll waive that $99 for you. Matter of fact, I'll personally pay that for you. Or you can act it out like you're doing it with somebody. But for the most part, you really want to be honest, so do your very best. And then you can come back and say, okay, well, I'm going to be able to waive that, take care of that $99 for you. But like I said, I'm going to have to personally pay that for you. Because in reality, guys, you really are paying that. Because in most cases, you're losing that $100 off your paycheck. So you're not lying. Not even a little bit. And I never recommend lying. I will never endorse that, never encourage that. We always want to be 100% transparent and upfront with the customers and everybody that we speak with. And then normally they respond, wow, you do that for me? Wow, you have no idea how much we appreciate that. Thank you. You see, that's how you build more interest in what you have to offer. Because more than likely, they will not be canceling on you or complaining about anything. Blowing up your phone, texting you, calling you left and right all day. But if you do this alternative close, I promise you, from personal experience and everyone that's told me that I've trained, you will collect activation 80% of the time. Because it's just simple logic. Would you rather pay $1,000 or $1,900 or a simple $99? People are going to pay that $99 all day long. And what are most people going to look at? What would most people rather pay? Give me the free stuff. I don't care about that, some stupid gift card, right? And like I said, 20% of the time, you will have those people that just don't have it. They literally just moved in. They don't even have $100 in their bank account. Or they do, but they're really using it for something else. And they're being honest with you. But then you have that ace in the hole, and you're the hero if you do waive it. Because guess what? If you just waive it right off the bat and throw out that activation and make that $2,000 something you do every single time, then it's nothing special for them. But if you save it in your back pocket, man, absolutely you'll collect that 99% of the time, 80% of the time. I like to say 99 because very rarely do I ever have something that doesn't pay it. So like I said, if you're making it 15 installs a month and you're collecting 80% of the time, that means you're collecting on 12 installs. That's still an extra $1,200 a month. And then, like I said earlier, the monthly savings with the insurance is nothing earth-shattering, but it's something that you definitely do want to mention because you want to let them know, hey, you will save $35 to $70 a year for having a home security system. Your insurance company is actually paying you to protect your house, your possessions, and your family. And they'll pay you $4 to $7 a month just for having a home security system. I do like to bring that up because you get some people that are like, I get to save money? Yeah, I'll sign up right now. There's different things interest different people. Not that $63 is a lot anyway, but what you'll really be paying a month if you put it towards your bill is about $56 to $59 a month. Probably around $57 a month. So you're literally looking around $1.70 a day to guarantee nothing will happen to your house, your possessions, your family, and everything that you love. Cheaper than a cup of coffee. And I'll even tell them, hey, I noticed you have a cup of coffee there on your table. And a McDonald's bag or whatever you see, right? Because that's the benefit of being at the kitchen table. You're exposed to everything that's inside of their house. You see everything. So I noticed you got that. And we always like to get the things that we want, right? And I'm sure if you were thirsty, you wouldn't hesitate to go buy yourself a bottle of water. If you're tired, you'll go get a cup of coffee, right? If you're hungry, you'll go stop at the store and spend a couple bucks on something to eat. We all do the things that we like to do. Money is never too tight to the point where we can't get something that we like to enjoy, right? So the way I look at it is it's something you've thought about, which you had told me that you did, right? And it's something that you want to get eventually, which you told me. Does it make a lot of sense to pay $1,900 for something? They're always going to tell you no. Of course not, right? So again, if my sales rep was out here today, that'd be a huge decision. But again, the cool part about me being out here is what I like to do is take care of the hot pot out of the equation and make things really simple for you. Because to make things easier for me and to make things easier for you, I don't really make any money because I work off salary, not commission. I don't really make any money if I charge you $5,000 or $1,200 or $2,000. So to make things easier for you and for me, like I said, I want to do something very, very special. I could charge you, but I'm not because I really want to take care of that hot pot to make it less of a decision for you and more of an opportunity. But where it's just $1.70, because again, if it is something that you believe in, Joe, I'm sure you can afford $1.70 a day if you believe in it. And if you don't, tell me I'm wasting my time and I'll get the heck out of here. But obviously it seems like protecting your awesome new place, your possessions, and your family is worth $1.70 to you. So since we're not getting any of that collected from you, I'm going to get everything taken care of for you. Let's just get everything set up. I'm pretty available tomorrow. I could do morning, afternoon, or evening. Matter of fact, what's your work schedule? I get home at 3, perfect. We can be out by 5. Does that give you enough time to get home? You see, one thing you'll notice is you'll never hear me say, does that work for you? Is that okay? What do you think? Because if you're doing that, then you're ruining yourself. Because if you think about it, it's the same way if you're trying to date someone, right? Are you going to go up to them and say, do you think I'm cute? No, right? Well, why not? Because they might say bad things back to you. So it doesn't make sense. But if you go up to someone and say, hey, you're good looking, I'm good looking, let's go out tonight, what are you doing later? That's confidence, right? That's what people like. That's what people will buy. And it's the same thing with home security sales. At the end of the day, 98% of the population is beta, and they like to be told what to do. Hey, have you ever been home with your significant other and asked them, hey, what do you feel like eating? I don't know, what movie do you want to see? I don't know, what movie do you want to see? What do you want to do tonight? I don't know, honey, what do you want to do? Why is that? Because we don't like to make a choice. We want the other person to pick for us, right? One reason, because, for a couple reasons. One reason is because if it's a bad choice, we don't want to be the one to blame. And if we don't like the food, we don't want to be the one to blame, right? So they're all depending on what it is. if you picked it, then it's your fault. All that stuff is going on inside of us. So we don't like to be the ones to make the decision. So if you turn on the customer and say, hey, make a decision, now they're like, I don't know what to do. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you. But if we make the decision for them, again, what do? We recapped. You already said you had thought about it, and you said you want to get it done eventually with our qualifying question and a tie down, and you see the value in it and it's important to you, so you got 3 yeses, no one's going to say no. Everything is just a simple process. So let's just get this thing taken care of. So what's the only thing you're asking them? A question they can easily answer. What's your work schedule tomorrow? You guys all know what you're working tomorrow, right? So they don't have to think about it. They just have to share a decision and knowledge of something they already know. Then all they'll say, once you confirm, is, hey, we'll have a guy come out. And they'll say, great. Because I promise you, if you do your close like this, you got your tie down, you had good rapport, great 5-minute story, you did the walkthrough, and you did your only close, I shouldn't say alternate, it used to be called alternate. 9 out of 10 times, you're going to close that sale. And they won't be canceling. Because 80% of the time, I don't have to wrestle with them, I don't have to argue with them, or overcome any objections. Because I didn't make them make a decision. Because I made it for them. All they had to pick was something they knew, which was their work schedule. What was their time? And because again, everything makes sense to them, they're just going to roll right over. Because let's just say we're on the 10th story of a building, and I take a chair and I throw it out the window and drop it. If you're the customer down there trying to catch it, how fun is that going to be? You're going to get flattened, right? It's not going to be much fun at all. You're going to get crushed. So it's basically the same thing with the sales process. This whole sales process is that chair that we're rolling down a hill. And then once you do your close, it's coming at them 1,000 miles an hour. And what are most people going to do? Well, they're just going to roll right over, right? Because everything makes sense. They already told you they want a system, they want to get it done eventually, and they don't want to spend $2,000 for it. They're like, and they like the sense of safety. They're like, let's just get this thing taken care of. And it's definitely affordable for anybody. Even if you're in that $50,000 row home, it's still only $1.70 a day. They're still getting their cup of coffee every single day. So never choose for them and think that somebody cannot afford this. And the best part is that majority of the time, you won't have to overcome any objections ever. They're going to look at you and say, hey, let's do this, right? That's it. You got your sale done, easy, good to go. And on top of that, you collected activation most of the time as well. And after that, there is no hesitation about credit cards or socials or any of their personal information, because now they trust and believe you. And guys, this is how I do it every single time. If you do it like this every single time, I promise you, and make this an assembly line, you will get success on a 100% basis. Because if you do it like an assembly line, you're going to get the same result. If you have the same system and you're building a car and it's put in the computer the right way every single time, it's going to come out the exact way you expect it to. A couple times you'll get a glitch, but that's why it's 9 out of 10 times. You should always be getting your sale and collecting that activation. Honestly, this is a success formula for home security sales. Everything that I've taught you. And then lastly, let me ask you, has anyone here ever got a cancel? If you're just beginning, then maybe not. But if you've been working for some time, of course you have, right? And if you've ever had one, you realize that they are horrible. To me and to everyone I've spoken with, there's nothing worse. I hate it. But if you do your sales process like this every single time with this close, I can promise you cancels will be a rarity. And just so you know, guys, I'm also going to do a couple other videos on closing, just to be given on how to get more equipment. Another one, there's going to be a step-by-step process of how to close the deal every single time and how to write it out and what to say. I already gave you a little foregleam of what that was like a little earlier, just writing it down on a piece of paper and running through everything, but I really want you guys to get the point on how to do this close. I just wanted to talk about some of the benefits and what you should be doing and how you should be doing it when you're trying to close the deal and get your sale. So remember guys, everything that I teach is only effective if you put it into practice. And honestly, I hope I have the opportunity someday to meet you personally, where you can share with me the story of your life success. And if you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe for more content. And I'd really love to know what I said that really resonated with you, what inspired you, motivated you, or had an impact on you. What was the most important message you got from this video? What did you learn? I'm going to join in the discussion with you. But I also ask that you share this video with everyone that you know. Your friends, family, manager, company, anybody that could possibly benefit. Thank you for taking the time to share, and thank you for taking the time to watch. Continue to smile, laugh, and live with joy. And I'll see you soon.